Yo, what's up?
Yo, bro, have you been on Twitter recently?
No, I'm just getting up.
Bro, I'm gonna send you something. You need to read it as soon as you can.
On the morning of May 27, 2025, a Dust2 article was posted revealing a ban wave that took place on the Faceit platform. Included in this ban were these three players. Among these three players was SJR. SJR played for Lobo Army, which had recently been named champions of the ESEA Advanced Season 52 and given a spot in the ESL Challenger League. Another player in this ban wave was Sluky. Sluky at the time was playing for a team called Junga, which were competing in ESEA Advanced Season 53 and had just finished the regular season with a 12-2 record, securing first place going into playoffs. Also at this time was a $5,000 charity event that I organized called Diffuse the Stigma, where Junga had just secured one of 8 spots through an online open qualifier. This was the reason I woke up to a phone call from a friend and a colleague about the cheating convictions. This situation was the first time my eyes were really open to the serious and ongoing cheater problem CS2 faces at the highest level. But this isn't the first time the community has seen this. In March of 2025, the ESEA Advanced Season 53 Fast Track Qualifier experienced a cheating scandal, when teams and players like Fat Guy Lol and Twig CS reported that the winning team had some more than suspicious activity on their team. ESEA was then forced to do something about it and then start their own investigation. They claimed this ban happened only after reviewing their anti-cheat data and not due to the evidence submitted by the community. Earlier that same year, February, RyderDie from Junga was banned for a radar cheat during the Blast Rising qualifier. On this team was also Sluky, who of course came to his defense. So how are these players cheating? Well, before we talk, a kernel-level anti-cheat like the one Faceit has is capable of scanning everything on your device to include your files and hardware to detect if there's anything malicious taking place. Well, this device is how modern-day cheaters bypass a system like the Faceit anti-cheat. This is a direct memory access board, or commonly referred to as DMA. Products similar to this are the exact reason why cheaters like Sluky can go an entire ESEA season without ever getting caught. Your computer has a bus system, which is essentially a highway for data being transferred among other components. The Peripheral Component Interconnect Express, or PCIe, is a part of this system. This enables your GPU to communicate with the rest of your system, which also includes your CPU, SSDs, and RAM. However, DMA products also plug into these PCIe slots. When Counter-Strike is running, your CPU is constantly writing data to your RAM in order to store information that the CPU just can't store. This information includes the position of every player. So when a DMA device is installed and configured by these cheaters, it takes this information from the RAM and sends it to an external device such as another desktop or even a laptop. Some cheaters will actually set their devices up to be routed through this device, a Raspberry Pi, which in short can make this information readily available on a server, which then can be accessed by the cheater and the cheater's teammates via a mobile device. But this isn't news for anti-cheat developers. 7 years ago, on the 23rd of October 2018, ESEA published a blog post titled Cat and Mouse, ESEA Anti-Cheat. This post was one of the first times DMA cheats and how they function were publicly announced to the community, with ESEA stating, "This method of hardware-based cheating is boasted as undetectable, though ESEA has been monitoring this trend and working for many months on detecting this method of cheating." This article, while informative, also leads me to have more questions. If this type of hardware-based cheating has been around for almost a decade, how are players like Sluky still able to play an entire season of ESEA with this same type of cheat? Especially considering that ESEA members at the time claimed that these hardware setups can cost anywhere from $1,500 all the way up to even $5,000. I believe there to be two possibilities here. One, the Faceit anti-cheat team do in fact know about those utilizing this method of cheating, but to prevent cheat developers from gaining the upper hand, they don't initiate ban waves until they've accumulated a large number of cheaters waiting for a ban, and also have learned more about how the cheat works, even if this compromises the competitive integrity of an entire ESEA season, or I suppose 2 consecutive ESEA seasons. Or 2, the Faceit anti-cheat team are actually unable to detect modern day DMA cheats and have to rely on community outcry to rectify blatant DMA users. Now, unfortunately, I believe the latter to be more accurate, and here's why. Shortly after the SJR ban, a user in X tweeted to Sluky asking about how he was caught, to which Sluky replied, "This cheat will never be detected by the anti-cheat, and that someone who was using this cheat notified Faceit, which led to a more comprehensive investigation." Now, in another member that was also banned when Sluky and SJ were banned, a Leaf in their manifesto also stated, "After thousands of hours of witnessing firsthand how cheating often goes largely unpunished, it recently felt inevitable that at some point I would satisfy my own curiosity. In Slukey's manifesto, he claimed something very similar, stating, "There are so many rotten people like me who prevent those who try to play." Of course, these are words coming from cheaters themselves, and due to the nature of their actions, their word is truly worthless and shouldn't be taken seriously. However, if we were to also compare evidence we've already found, like how a team in ESEA Advanced Season 52 cheated for the entire season and then cheated their way to a championship, and how the very next season, another team cheated during the entire regular season, it's hard not to come to the same conclusion that there may be cheaters still playing today, just flying under the radar. Someone who would know more about this is someone that I actually met in Austin, Texas during the major. No, not that guy, but rather this guy. This is Spudomatic. Spudomatic, or Eric for short, has been playing CS for the past 12 years, has over 3,400 ELO on Faceit, sitting around top 100 of the highest ELO players in North America. He also has plenty of league experience, playing as high as ESL Challenger League, and is a previous FPL player. Eric in his free time not only plays Faceit pugs, but is also very active on Twitter, posting content reviewing countless suspected cheaters on the North American Faceit ladder, which more times than not results in a ban administered by Faceit. Because of this, I decided to have a chat with him, and the very first thing I asked Eric was, how many people do you suspect are cheating in 3K plus ELO on Faceit?
As far as NA goes, I can think of like 10 people off the top of my head that are 3K low or higher. I don't know what percentage that is. It's probably less than 1%. Or no,
Sure.
no, it's probably more than 1%. It's probably like 3 or 4% or something.
Right.
Because there aren't that many people that are 3K plus in NA. But it's a problem everywhere. It's just I'm only exposed to it in North America, right? So
I then asked him how much he knows about the SJR and Slukey ban wave.
sure. I don't really have insight on like why they got banned, but I can be pretty confident that Slukey was cheating for a couple months before he got banned.
Right.
When that guy first moved to NA, like I added him on Steam. I was like, oh, this guy's like nice. He's like grinding. He's playing like advanced right now. And then he was like 80, 90 hours past 2 weeks. Fast forward to March, right? And suddenly he's, 20 hours past 2 weeks and 10 times smarter than he ever was before.
Right.
I don't really know specifically what they had, but I'm confident it was something like ESP, radar, wall.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, just the one thing that I want to add is like, you asked like how many people in 3K plus ELO do you suspect are cheating? And I would say like about 10 that I'm confident on, and like 10 more that I'm like a little bit suspect of, but not really sure.
Sure.
The problem is there's only, that many people. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a problem. There's probably 5 to 10 times that who are willing to play with those players.
Yeah.
And
no, you're
do they
right.
know what they're doing? In some cases, probably not. In a lot of cases, yeah. I do definitely think that the same people that are getting away with cheating on the Faceit client are plenty capable of getting away with cheating on other clients.
Right.
And like I experienced that firsthand last week. Like I just subbed for something for Regain, and the guy that we played against is already banned. Now it's not for
Really?
cheating, but I mean you can watch the demo for like 10 minutes and tell he's cheating. Like it's egregious, right? Like moving his mouse like a level 6 or 7, but has the game sense of Prime Zywoo. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I know that problem does carry over to, the Blast qualifiers, the Dust 2 qualifiers, all these tournaments in North America that lead to VRS directly.
Right.
So they matter for anybody trying to compete, and they're infested with people just cheating, doing whatever they can to get an advantage.
So do you feel like the anti-cheat, or the Faceit anti-cheat, is effectively stopping cheaters today?
It's doing a job. I wouldn't say a good job, right? I don't think that's necessarily Faceit's fault though, because this conversation hasn't really changed in the past 10 years, right? Since I started playing the game that long ago. Like, cheaters are gonna be ahead of anti-cheats 99% of the time. It's very rare that the people running or creating an anti-cheat are going to magically be 3 steps ahead of everybody creating cheats. It just doesn't really work like that. And like you said, it's a cat and mouse game, and generally the cheaters are always going to have the upper hand because they're going to be able to have solutions to not get caught before the admins can identify those solutions and implement them into the anti-cheat.
Change like 1 or 2 things, or anything really, if there is anything, what would you change about the Faceit anti-cheat system? Now, before I let Eric answer this next question, if you want some more context to exactly what we're talking about here, a link to the YouTube video showing an FPL player cheating in Premiere in the description. It was made by Spudomatic. You should definitely check it out.
One thing that I feel like is a no-brainer to implement for them is banning people who they have proof of cheating on other clients, because it's not like
I know
there's some kind of like legal jurisdiction issue, right?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I know what you're about to say.
Yeah.
I will show on screen around this time in the video
that Miles tweet unless you don't want me to, but I 110% agree with you. If someone is obviously cheating on a different platform, then let's take care of them on this platform. Like,
I just don't see the downside.
I don't see the downside
Why
either.
not clean up your community to the best of your ability when you have concrete evidence of somebody doing something wrong in the game that is on your platform, right? Like, if somebody is cheating in matchmaking, if somebody is cheating in some qualifier that's on, you know, the Acros anti-cheat or whatever, and they get caught there, why would you be like, oh, well, our anti-cheat didn't catch it, let's let them play?
Right.
That makes no sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense.
Why not punish the people for doing the thing wrong, you know?
I also asked him what he would change about the Faceit anti-cheat system.
I think the reporting system is just weird right now because, like, I tried to report the Warblast thing, like the ban evasion thing that I posted.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they immediately auto shut down my ticket and said, you can't report like this anymore.
What?
And I was like, so I gave you all the evidence. I guess I have to go public with it now.
And then they did something.
Yeah, because I went through the actual report system, waited 2 days, and then nothing happened. And I was like,
insanity.
Okay, so why did you get rid of the avenue that's actually helping people report?
So what should be done? Well, unless you have a comprehensive understanding of the current war taking place between Faceit anti-cheat developers and cheat developers, then it'll continue to remain a mystery. When I asked a Faceit manager if I could secure an interview with someone from the anti-cheat team, I was met with this response. And to be fair, I expected this kind of answer. Faceit did, however, come out with an article to explain that DMA cheats are impossible on their platform, stating our anti-cheat leverages TPM 2.0 and crucially operates at kernel level. Now, for those of you that are unaware of how TPM 2.0 works, very simply, Faceit can use this feature to ensure that the system is booted with trusted components. However, after doing some minimal research, I discovered cheat developers have been spoofing hardware IDs for the past 7 years in order to bypass such security features. This would also explain how for the past 2 ESEA seasons, first place winners in playoffs and regular season were cheating. Okay, I'm writing this after my initial recording of this audio, but an article written by Richard Lewis just released information that Faceit just laid off over 50 of their employees, with a significant amount coming from their integrity team, which unfortunately is responsible for handling player behavior and anti-cheat development. Once we go back to the original audio, I'm going to talk about potential resolutions to this issue we're facing, but if I'm being honest, what just happened is really bad news for the current cheater situation. I don't have enough information or knowledge to really provide any insightful resolution to the current issue, but what I can say is this. Online events, at least at the time of making this video, are almost certainly compromised by those using DMA cheats to gain an advantage. And even if they aren't completely compromised, with the recent development with SJR and Sluky, I don't have enough information or knowledge to really provide any insightful resolution to the current issue, but what I can say is that online events, at least at the time of making this video, are almost certainly compromised by those using DMA cheats to gain an advantage. And even if they aren't completely compromised, with the recent developments with SJR and Sluky's ban wave, it's only perpetuated this narrative and paranoia of cheaters playing at the highest level, whether it be in Faceit Pugs, ESC Advanced or higher, or even online tournament qualifiers. Like everyone else, all I truly want is a cheat-free environment for the game I know and love. This ensures that players can find a place to play the game without being burdened by cheaters, and to also ensure the longevity and popularity of Counter-Strike as a whole. Although I don't have a solution, I think the message that Spudomatic gives at the end of our call is a good way to end this video.
What about message to the community in general, or maybe Faceit or anything of that nature?
Just keep talking about it. Like, don't turn it into like a witch hunt, right? Which it already kind of is. It's kind of too late for that because people don't have trust of whether or not they're playing legit players or not, right? But just talk about it, right? Like, make this something that the community is constantly talking about, because if we don't, then it just goes ignored like it has for the past 2 years. And it seems like a lot of these people are getting banned. Like, I have a list of the people that I've walked on stream that I was very confident were cheating in some way, and more than half of them are banned. Now, only like 2 of them are banned for cheating, right? Because Faceit will always ban for other stuff. But
Sure.
Talking about this stuff is working,
Right.
you know? Bringing attention to this stuff is actually working. The other day I reviewed 3 people on stream. 2 of them were banned within 7 days. It's
Really?
working. So talking about this stuff actually does work. So just keep doing that. That's all I can say to the community.